Okay, so I'm going to do an acrylic pour here. I have, looks like 8 colors. I'm using some leftover paint from a pour I just did, and then added another couple of colors to it. I got a little bit of turquoise left, so I'm going to include that in it, but I don't expect it to show up much because I don't have that much of it. Then there's this green that I made by using the regular green that just comes in a package of, you know, primaries and secondary colors, along with blue, turquoise, and some metallic gold. I have some silver, metallic silver. You can see that metallic-y swirls in it. Dark blue. Now these are all just regular colors that come in the regular liquid bottles. Sargent Art. We buy a lot of that paint up here because my kids do a lot of painting, and so I don't usually buy the more expensive paints. I've got black, yellow, copper, and purple. So what I'm going to do first is I have this 13-inch wood disc. A little too big for my tray here, but I guess I'll make a little bit of a mess. Anyway, so first I'm going to grab a brush and I'm going to paint, just put a base coat here, so that if the paint for some reason misses a spot or gets thin in a spot, I have color down. So I'll be right back. Okay, so, oops, boy, I just got paint all over me. My apron is down at the other house. I've been taking some art classes at a local art gallery and have been taking my apron with me, and I don't have it up here. So I ended up getting paint on my shirt, but that's okay. I'm wearing a work shirt anyway. So what I ended up doing was just dumping what was in this cup onto the thing and spreading that around. So it's got some of the same colors in it that I'm using anyway for this pour. So that is fine. Okay, so I'm going to start with some of the copper. Now, again, I'm going to do this as a straight pour, but with all the paint in the cup. So technically a dirty pour, but I'm not dumping the paint into the center. I'm pouring it down the side so that it will lay on top of each other rather than dunking down in the middle. So some artists call this a straight pour, some call it a dirty pour. Some say that the dirty pour is the one where you pour it straight down the middle, which will cause the paint to kind of drop down into the bottom underneath the other paint. It's really I've heard it done called both. Okay, like a little bit. I have a little bit of this turquoise. I'll add a little bit of that in there. Add what's left of it. Now we're going to do this as a flip cup, which means I'm going to actually flip the cup over so it's sitting upside down on the wood. This can just sit there for a minute. Let's see. Okay. Get a little more yellow. I didn't have much in there. Okay. Some of my green mix. And I don't know. Let's see. Feels like a lot of paint. Maybe I won't flip it. Maybe I'll do like a ribbon pour or something. That way if there's too much paint, then I can use this same thing on one more. Just flip that over. This little popsicle stick's kind of bent. Maybe when I wash it off, I'll lay it under something heavy so it can kind of straighten back out. Put in some yellow. The last of the yellow. Yes, we reuse our popsicle sticks here. Reuse our cups. Save McDonald's cups when they serve the drinks in the plastic, and use those for paint pouring or mixing up resin or whatever. Microwave dinner containers, you know, those nice plastic ones, we save those because we use those for things. Pretty much if it's not paper, 9 times out of 10 we save it and try to find another use for it, whether it's to make it into a, you know, use it in some kind of craft, or use it as a crafting tool. Yeah, I'm just going to pour all the paint in this cup and see what we get. If I need to do another pour, I will do another pour. No sense letting it go to waste, right? It's a lot of paint. I could do a much bigger canvas with this, I bet. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then the purple, which is the last thing I've got. Okay. There wasn't much of a side of a cup left to pour because my cup is full. Okay. So. Hey, these will go into the bucket to wash. I don't like to pour paint down the sink, so I prefer to rinse in a bucket of water that I take outside and dump before taking it to the sink to wash, to try to get as much paint off things first. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what we get out of this. Are we still recording? Yes, we are. Okay. Maybe I'll do a kind of a wandering ribbon. And let's see where we got from there. Oh, this one is nice. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need some more paint. Getting it to go around the edges. Now remember, you don't want to tilt too much. You get too crazy and tilt happy, you end up muddying your paints, because the paints end up doing a lot of blending. So you want to tilt just enough to A, cover your canvas, and B, control the composition a little bit. For instance, these two extremely weird spots here that I don't know if I'm happy with. I think I'm going to put a little more paint over here. Maybe break them up a little bit. I knew there wouldn't be much yellow. Okay. Not sure I like what's going on over here. I haven't decided. Totally haven't decided yet. But yeah, there we go. That breaks that up so it's not quite so much of a line. Okay. Now I'm going to wipe my hands a little bit here and then grab a torch. Get this, use a little kitchen torch here. Yeah, a little bit of flame. Now, I didn't add any silicone, but I did have 2 metallic paints in the mix. And metallics tend to bring out some interesting cells. Torching the bubbles. Here we go. And let's see. Just getting a little more paint up on the sides. Turn it around and see what's happening. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be probably a matte finish when it dries. So to get my shiny finish back, I will seal it with, possibly with resin. I really like the pop that resin gives. Oh yeah. Very galaxy-ish. So I'm going to take my gloves off here and bring you down for a closer look, because there's a lot of interesting, just subtle cell action going on. I'm not a big fan of creating cells just for the purpose of creating cells. I like them to be a little more organic. And I didn't add any silicone to the mix, so it's definitely, all right, moving the camera, definitely organic. Look at this area here. I really like what's going on here. Let's see if I can, there, kind of block that. How we broke up that yellow, because it was just one yellow blob. And then we had the copper. Look at all those little cells that are coming up. You can see a lot of that silver. Those are the only metallics, was the silver and the copper. All the other paints were just regular flat paint. Okay, and we'll come back and take a look at this when it is dry.